Alright, today we're going to be trading this 1985 Honda CR250 for a 1987 Honda 250R quad. Last time I owned a 250R quad, I regret selling it. It was the really nice silver one. I think I sold for like $3,500 or something like that, when really it's worth now like $7,000. So I kind of regret that one a little bit. Thing was mint. But we've got a chance to own another one, and the guy's gonna be here in like 10 minutes. So I wanna get this bike ready for the trade. I think I paid like $900 for this thing, then put some money into a brake caliper, I believe, a chain, and some graphics for it, and then the seat cover. So I maybe have $1,500 into it. So trading this plus $1,000 on top of it for the 250R. But this bike's really nice actually. Runs and drives great, no issues with it whatsoever. We're gonna see if we can fire it up today before he comes, just to get it warmed up. It hasn't been running in like 5 months, so we'll see if we can get it fired up today, and go from there. We might have to put some gas down the cylinder to prime it up for the first start, but I'm thinking she'll pop over. Oh yeah, running perfectly. Alright, bike is all ready to go. So hopefully the trade goes through and we get to experience the 1987 Honda 250R. So stay tuned. The guy should be here in a little bit. Alright, well the trade went through. Check out this bad boy. I think it's pretty sweet. A little walk around. Pretty nice. So we ended up trading the 85 CR250, $1,000 cash. It's not too bad. FMF pipe on it. Tires look pretty good. FMF silencer as well. Does start and run. I have not driven it yet. Comes with the registration card, and it's registered until 2023. So pretty awesome looking machine. I think I got a pretty good deal on it. So technically I paid 19 for it. Right around 19. So let's get her in the garage and take a closer look. Alright, let's take a closer look at this thing. So I bought this off of Facebook Marketplace, or traded plus bought, from a guy named Jason. He lives right around the area, about 40 minutes away from me, and a super nice guy. And if you're watching this, Jason, thanks again for the sweet quad. Thanks for doing the trade. I was trying to get rid of that 85 CR250 for a while now, so I'm glad it went to a good home. I guess the guy used to race and stuff, so I'm happy the bike went to a good home. It's a sweet bike, so hopefully he enjoys that. But we've got the quad here. First look at it, you can see the plastics are a little bit rough, but they're not horrible. You can see right here, Chopped out a spot for the coolant cap, so you didn't have to take off the plastics to get to it. Smart idea there. Looks like the plastics are broken right here, so that the Nerf bars can fit in there. And then, let's see what else we got going on. Are these broken too over here? Yeah, they're just cut, it looks like, so that the Nerf bars can fit, which isn't a big deal, especially if we're gonna be riding this thing. Looks like they're a little faded. There's some, looks like paint on there at one point. So plastics are definitely rough, but at least they're mostly there. Seat covers ripped in a couple spots. This is just cosmetic stuff I'm going over. Nothing too serious. You can see a couple rips in the seats. We might get a new seat cover for it. But you don't really have to. Still functional. It's got an LED light in the front here. Looks like the guy I bought it from said that the voltage regulator isn't working. So it blew the tail light, he said. So the tail light needs to be changed out. Let's see what's in here. Anything? Any goodies in the back here? Alright, looks like there's a plug in here. Some tools. Vehicle registration receipt. So that's good. Close that up. Let's see here. Looks like it's got an Elka rear shock in the back. Newer chain and sprocket. Cool. I did notice the brakes, I think in the back, were locking up a little bit because it's pretty hard to push. So I might have to deal with that. Nice grab bar in the back. Like I said before, the FMF silencer and the full FMF pipe. Gold series. What else does this thing have? Elba Racing. Nerf bars on it. This is Legacy ATV protectors. Looks like it's got a different gas tank on her. Doesn't look stock. Looks like an oversized tank. Just a cheap set of bars. Protrax mount, it looks like. And then this mount, I don't know what that is. It's got a 250R chain protector on it. That one looks pretty beefy. Looks pretty nice. It's got the original Keehan carb. And the engine was rebuilt with a hot rods crank. And a Weisco piston. Now let me read the description here. He said it has full PRM skids. So the skid plates on it. Oh, that's pretty sweet. So the skids go all the way down the whole thing. That is really nice, especially for trail riding. Thing's pretty sweet, actually. He said it has not been jetted for the cold weather yet, so we might have to take a look at the jetting as well and see what's in there for jets. I think he said there was a stock jetting in there, so we should be fine for the first couple rides of the season on it. Probably could use some new grips. Got a little mirror. He said that there's a mirror on it because where he lives he can ride on the road. Let's see here. Ooh, gas cap is cracked. Right there. That sucks. About half a tank of gas in it. Might have to get a new gas cap for it. You can see the gas is kind of spilling out. Overall, this thing's pretty nice. So we'll test compression, see what that's at. It feels pretty good. It does run, like I said before. So we'll test her out and see if it's topped off here. Kind of hard to get to in there. Oh yeah, she's topped off. That's a good sign. Get that back on there. Tires, pretty nice. ITP wheels. Looks like it's got different brake lines. And then levers, obviously. Different levers. But we'll jack it up and see what's going on with that steering. I want to take a look at the air filter as well. He said that there's 2 pins that hold the seat on, so we'll get to that, take a look at the air filter, and then start digging into this thing. Alright, let's try to take off the seat here. Looking for the pins. Forgot the whole back plastics come off. Alright, here's the air filter box. Looks all complete in here, which is good. Radiator overflow. Breather box. Air filter in there. Could probably use a new one. But looks like it was just glued right here. Looks like it must have cracked at one point, but it's oiled up. So that's good. Cool. At least there's an air filter in it, right? Alright, that looks good. Alright, let's start this thing up for the first time. See if she starts easy. Looks like the carburetor's right there. Turn the choke on. Alright, let's see if she fires up here. Running pretty good. Sounds pretty good. Not too bad. Second kick with the choke on. Fired right up. So, not too bad to start. Alright, we got the back end jacked up here. Yeah. You can see the wheels do not spin freely. Look how tough they are. See if the back brake works here. Back brake definitely works. So it's probably the piston in the caliper here that's not going back in all the way. So we'll come back to that, but now we know that the rear brakes are locking up. All right, so we know that it starts up easy and idles pretty good, but I'm not sure how it rides because I have not ridden it yet. I just want to check the spark plug out, see what that looks like, and then check compression on this thing. The manual says that I should have around 170 pounds of compression. There we go. There we go. Plug. Same as the LT250s. Same as a lot of stuff actually. Alright, let's take a look at the plug. That looks pretty good. It's pretty chocolatey. Looks like it's running almost perfect. So, that's a great sign. It's a little bit wet, but doesn't smell like burnt oil or anything, so that's good. Alright, let's get the compression tester in there. See what happens here. You guys are going to take a look at that. Let's see, we'll hold that right there. Remember, we're looking for over 120 for sure, but we want probably like 150 to 170. Let's see what happens. We're going to do throttle open. We just warmed it up, so it should have pretty good compression. Let's see what happens. I think that's good enough. Let's see what we get in here. Woo, baby. What are we sitting at for compression? 180. 181 pounds of compression on this baby. That is pretty good. I would say compression's good. This thing should rip. Man, that's really high compression. So that's great. Compression checks out. Let's take a look at the oil next. Alright, I'm going underneath here, 17mm bolt to get the oil bolt off, and then we're going to let that drain. It takes 0.6 liters, so we'll measure and see if there's the right amount in there and what that oil looks like. See if I can break the bolt for you first. There we go. But definitely pretty gray in there. You guys can see that. That's not milky, is it? No, I think it's just gray. So we'll let that drain out for a little bit. You can see it. Kind of hard to see in there, but. Alright, this is what was in there. Not a whole lot of oil. Looks pretty metallic-y as well. So I'm guessing it probably hasn't been changed since the rebuild. And that's pretty typical for a rebuild to be metallic-y like that because the piston's getting worn in and it's breaking in. And all those loose pieces of metallic that are on the piston and the new crank, that's all coming off. So it's usually a good idea to couple oil changes right after the rebuild because you're going to get that metallic-y look in the oil. But we're just going to measure it and see if there's enough in there. We're gonna pour it into here and just see where it was at and see what this comes up to. It just seemed low to me, but maybe not. Alright, let's see what we're up to on this thing. We're at like 450 right there. So it wasn't like extremely low, but we should be up to here with the oil. So we're probably right around 500 with all the residual oil in the case and stuff. So we were a little bit low, so it's good that we're adding some fresh oil to it. All right, time to add some new oil. We're using 10W40 wet clutch oil. I see a lot of people putting car oil in their ATVs, and that will make the clutch slip, so don't do that. All right, let's see if we can get this in there. We're gonna be adding 0.6 liters. So right now this is 950 milliliters, so we're gonna be adding up to right here. All right, we can check and make sure we're at the correct level by cracking open this bolt right here, taking that out, and all the excess oil that's not supposed to be in the case will drain out of that hole. So let's do that. It's already loose. Kind of weird. And the oil should be. And we can add some more too if it's not draining out of there. So you can see a little bit's draining out. Should probably put a rag down. So you can see the excess oil coming out with the drain. Looks like something's holding it up there. That's weird. It's kind of gross. I don't know what that is. So let that drain until it stops dripping. Then we'll plug it up and the oil change will be done. All right, next, now that we have the oil done, I want to take a look at the carburetor. I want to see what jets are running in the carburetor. We made the mistake on the Quadzilla over there, not checking anything out, and that kind of bit us in the butt, and we ended up blowing up the Quadzilla. So let's take a look at the carburetor, make sure there's at least the stock jets in there, but it is getting colder out. It's dropping right now to like 40 degrees Fahrenheit in Wisconsin, so the jetting definitely needs to go up as it gets colder. So we'll take a look at those and see what's in there. The old rubber is pretty tight. Let's check out the needle position too. So much gas was in there. Probably gonna come out the overflow line. There we go. There we go. It's coming out the overflow. Alright, let's take a look in the carburetor here. See what's going on. Looks like it's got the updated Allens on her. see what we got here. Right, as you can see, it looks very clean in there. Very, very clean. Alright, looks like a 152 for the main right there. You can see that. And then we'll get that one off and look at the pilot. And that's a stock one. Take that out and look at that as well. So the pilot looks like a 38. The pilot, I don't know if you guys can see that or not. Right there, 38. Take that off and clean it out just in case. Clear. So 38 for that one. Take a look at the float here and the needle. Like the needle's still rubbery, and it should be because it's shutting off the gas, so that's good. No gas in there. Sometimes these develop pinholes. That's good. Yeah, the carburetor looks really good. So we're gonna go look up those jetting sizes and see what FMF recommends for the pipe, and we'll see what it recommends for being ported as well. Alright, just got done looking at the forum, and stock jets for this quad is a 152 main, so it's running a stock main. And the stock pilot's actually a 48, so this one's a 38, so it's running really lean on the pilot, which is kind of weird. And the guy did say that he had to mess with the pilot quite a bit to get it to be where he wanted it to be, so that's probably why that's lower than the stock. But yeah, a lot of people with FMFs run 160s in here, so we'll see how it runs, and we might have to go up in the jets, especially since it's getting colder out. So we'll bring some jets along for the first ride and test her out, but I'm guessing we're gonna have to go up in the pilot a little bit and probably up in the main a little bit coming up here pretty soon. I just want to check and see where the air screw is at. If the air screw is all the way out, like more than 2 turns, then we should go up in the pilot. Let's just see here. 1. That's actually pretty good. 1 and like a quarter. So I think we're good there. So that might actually be the correct pilot for what this engine needs. But I feel like the main might be a little bit off because we've got the FMF pipe. It's ported a little bit, and typically you go up in the main with those type of modifications. So, all right, we got the slide off. Let's take a look at the needle position here. Make sure it's not leaned out too much, because we know from the Quadzilla that it was. And it looks like it's 2nd notch from the top, so that's probably fine. Alright, we got the carburetor back on. So far everything's checking out perfectly, so we're just that much closer to the first ride. I saw a grease fitting right there I want to get. There. Up at the front, I don't think there are any actually. So I think there's just one in the back there. Alright, let's take off the cover here and try to get to that voltage regulator. Alright, let's see what's in here. Looks like like it's just zip tied on. So apparently that didn't work. So it looks like we're gonna need a new voltage regulator. That's what the old one looked like. So we'll order one of those up as well. I just ordered up some new grips for it too, because the old ones were a little rough. So we'll order up new grips, new voltage regulator, and then we'll replace those. Alright, so I think we are all set to go for the first ride. We went through the carburetor, we changed the oil, we checked the air filter, we checked compression, which is really high, and we checked the plug color, which was perfectly brown. So I'm feeling pretty confident that this thing is all set to go for the first ride. Hopefully we don't blow it up like this piece of junk over here, a Quadzilla Banshee, and this lasts a lot longer. Fingers crossed. Knock on some wood here, because I can't afford to blow up another machine here. Anyway guys, stay tuned for the first ride in this thing. It should be crazy fun. These things are always a blast to ride. And yeah, we'll see what it can do. And then we've got the Takate 4 versus the Honda 250R, and then the Takate 4 versus the LT 250R. So a couple great races coming up too, if we can get this thing dialed in. So stay tuned for next video, and until next time, we are out.